What's up, Blade fam? So today we're here at Memorial Park and we are going to be learning how to topside coping. So I'm going to be doing some topsides, a little switch, a little bit regular, but what I really want you to focus on is the emphasis that I'm going to be putting on the arch or that curve, you know, the carving into the quarter pipe. If you haven't already, check out my How to Skate quarter pipe series. I did 3 different videos teaching you how to drop, how to do regular grinds across the top of the deck, and how to drop back in after performing a grind. Without further ado, let's get into it. Alright guys, so your step 1 is going to be dropping in, of course, but then as you're approaching the other side, so in this instance we're at kind of a mini, but it can work for any quarter pipe. As you're approaching your quarter pipe, you want to have a nice arch. So I'm going to give you an example of how to get that arch without grinding at all, but getting all the way to the top and rolling across. So what that does is it teaches you how to, 1, roll all the way to the top of the coping and be in a standing position at the top of the deck. You know, there's style points. You can carve low and get in there all sat down and whatnot, but that's a little bit harder. So when you're first learning, it's a good idea to roll all the way up to the top of the deck, get that roll over the top. What that's teaching you is how to ride up, get that arch, and drop back in. Perform that maybe 5-10 times or however many times it takes for you to get comfortable. After that, we begin doing step 2, which is the stall. So the difference in this method versus, I guess, your normal stalling is I want you to put a little more emphasis on that arch. Riding to the top and visualizing this arch. A lot of times when I see people who are just beginning to skate coping in transition, they tend to go right up, which helps you stall, but when you're trying to perform a slide or a grind, that puts you over the top of the deck and it creates just a over the top. For example, so because I did that, all of my energy is coming up and over this way. When you begin to carve, your energy goes up and back in. That's what I think we're really after, you know, getting that nice arch, carving up into the top of the transition, and getting that slide. If you're not sure if you can perform the slide, again, go back to step 1, practice that carve and rolling over the top of the deck. One of the really fun or best things about doing topsides on coping is how much more safe it is rather than doing regular grinds. When you do a regular grind and you miss, your lock foot misses and slides down, putting you in a rib shot or other injuries. You catch the top of the deck and it just hurts that wrist, or you check the hip. But when you're performing topsides, it's just like it says. You can ride all the way to the top and say, oh no, I got it wrong, and roll away. You're not really going to be exposed to as much injury as if you were doing regular grinds. Okay, perfect example. This is what happens when you fall on a topside grind. You fall on top of the deck. Pretty safe. So after you've mastered whatever slide you've chosen, based off of just stalling it, you should have a basic understanding on how to drop back in. You can pick, you know, between forward or fakie, depending on your skill level. But as you've practiced this stalling, it should teach you the drop-in points. So that's going to put a close to this tutorial, or I guess trick tip. Anyways, I hope you guys found it useful. 3 points to remember. Have a good foundation, of course, in rolling. You want to be strong in your skating abilities in general. After that, remember to carve and have a nice arch. If you're unsure if you can make the lock point, ride all the way to the top of the coping, roll the top of the deck, drop back in, get that a couple of times, and then begin stalling and then sliding. Remember to have that carve and be strong and confident when you drop back in. Thank you guys for all the support. If you haven't already, hit subscribe if you're into this type of videos. Give me a thumbs up if this taught you or helped you learn to do topsides on quarter pipes and transitions. Big shout out to all my patrons. Thank you again for your continued support. Till next time, keep the blade alive, get out and skate, have fun, aloha.